All right, Unit 3, Lesson 16 continues with solving literal equations. This is the third day, but now we're going to be taking a look at some other formulas besides for slope-intercept form. All right, the cool thing about this is, once again, this will not change. Okay, ask what's being done in the variable, do the inverse operation, do the same to the other side, and solve. All right, we got these 6 problems to take a look at here. All right, and the first thing I'm going to do is kind of help myself see what I'm looking for. Kind of like I did yesterday, I'm going to start by highlighting everything I want. So in example A, we're asked to solve for the letter B, so that's the one I'm looking for. In example B, we're asked to solve for R. In example C, we're asked to solve for R. In example D, it's a W. In example E, it's a W. And in example F, it's going to be the letter B. Okay? And the reason why I'd like to highlight it first is it focuses my attention on what variable I'm asking the question about. Alright, so when I think, what is being done to the variable, well, I'm talking about B, not A in this problem. So when I look at what's being done to the variable B, we are multiplying by 2, and we are adding 3A. So I'm going to subtract 3A from both sides. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the exact same thing to the other side. That's going to be 2b minus, or equals, negative 3a plus 6. Again, we like to write our variables first when we can. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now we divide here. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. And we end up with b equaling negative 3 over 2a plus 3. Alright, now I started with this one because it's very similar to what we've been doing the last couple days. Alright, now when we get to B, we have the formula for interest. I equals PRT, principal times rate times time. Alright, something we worked with in the first semester a little bit, and we'll be working with it a little bit more in the future. Alright, but when we look at this, we're asked to solve for R. So I look at R and think, what is the P and the T doing to it? Well, in both cases, we're multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying by P and T at the same time would be dividing by P and T at the same time. And whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So I end up with I over PT equal to, all that's left is the R. And now R is by itself. Nothing in front of it, nothing behind it, and it's positive. That's the goal. Alright, example C, we have the distance formula. Distance is equal to the rate times the time. Alright, and we're asked to solve for R. And when I look at R, I notice we're multiplying by T. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. I end up with D divided by T equal to R. Now again, I can't divide D and T. I have no clue what they are. Alright, the best I could do is write it this way and leave it alone. Okay? Let's take a look at D. We're asked to solve for W. Again, if you guys do this off to the side, kind of like I did in A, I didn't really do it here, but let me just say we were multiplying, that's why we divide it. Same thing over here. Alright, but it's the thing I talk about at the start of every problem. Ask what's being done to this variable and answer that question. We're multiplying by 2, and we are adding 2L. So, the last thing you say is the first thing you get rid of. We subtract 2L from both sides. So, I have no clue what P is. I have no clue what 2L is. So, I'm just going to write P minus 2L. That's going to cancel. Equal to 2W. Well, I took care of that. Now I got to take care of this. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. And we end up with P over 2 minus, the 2 will cancel here, leaving me with an L. Same thing happens here, leaving me with a W. Alright, now I know I broke my rule of moving my equal sign, but I was running out of space to the left, so I kind of started bumping it over to the right. It's a bad thing to do. Alright, it's a bad habit, but sometimes you don't have the space and you got to do it. So, there we go. Alright, 2 more to go. Looking at example E, alright, I see a W. We're asked to solve for it. W is being multiplied by L. This is the formula for area. Area is equal to length times width. So the opposite of multiplying by L is dividing, so I'm going to divide both sides by L. I have no clue what A and L are, so I can't divide them. I just write it, A divided by L. Over here, L divided by L will cancel out, leaving me with a W. Alright, now the last one, a little tricky because it has this fraction in here, and fractions always have little special rules. When I look at B, we would say, just like, by the way, when I look at F, example F, alright, just like in example B, we're doing two things and they're both the same. We're multiplying by a half and by H at the same time. Now, in this one, we divide it by P and T at the same time, in example B here. Alright, I'm not going to do that in F. Alright, because of the fraction, it's easier to get rid of the fraction first by multiplying both sides by the reciprocal. Alright, the reciprocal means I'm going to flip the fraction, and what happens is the 2 on the top and the 2 on the bottom cancel out. On the left side, I have 2A. On the right side, I have B times H. Okay, well now this is easy because I just have to get B by itself. Alright, which once again is right here. So I'm going to divide by H. And I have B is equal to 2A over H. I have no clue what any of that means because I don't have values for those variables, but I can solve even without knowing what the actual number answer is going to be. Okay, it's the same exact steps. Alright, it is really forcing you to focus on whether or not you actually know how to take yourself through the steps of solving an equation, and forces you to show that work, which is such a big deal. If you are confused by any of this, remember there are 2 previous videos that you can look at. Alright, plus come ready for questions in class, and we'll see you tomorrow.